Okay, what's your name?
My name's Don Poole, and I'm president of the Galveston Optimist Club. We're a civic organization, and our chief fundraiser is the selling of Christmas trees, and we have done this since at least the 1940s. We have a lot of loyal customers who come back year after year, willing to pay a little bit more for the trees, but knowing the money stays in the community and helps area youth.
If I'm in the market for a Christmas tree, what would you suggest in terms of selecting one?
Freshness, freshness, and freshness.
How do you determine whether they're fresh?
Well, if the tree is dried, usually the needles will fall off easily if you pull on the limbs. So if the needles stay on, that's usually a sign of a fresh tree. You want to make sure that the tree has not been allowed to bake in the sun, or especially on concrete. We have these trees standing in Christmas tree stands that have water, so we keep them hydrated while they're here.
So the trees that are fresh and well hydrated and placed on grass rather than hot concrete stand the best chance of survival through the holidays.
Yes. And generally, the earlier you buy the tree, the better. The more they stand out in the sun or even indirect sunlight, the more the needles through photosynthesis will burn the sap from the tree, causing them to dry out. So early buying is the best for a fresh tree.
And so that's why you have some of them covered over here, I suppose.
Yes, that's why we have the sunshade netting.
Okay. So it's likely that a tree cared for in this way would last, in time for Santa's arrival then.
Oh, definitely. I've seen some of these trees that were not put out into the street until middle of January, and they still were very green.
So what do you do when you get the tree home? Is there anything special you have to do to make sure that it survives long enough?
Yes. Not only what you do, it's also what you do not do that's important. It's a good idea to take the tree and get it acclimated somewhat to your house. If you have an attached garage, let it sit in there for a day or so with water in the stand, and then take it inside. But under no circumstances should you take a tree into a house where you keep the air temperature above 80 degrees. That hot, dry air will just suck all the moisture out of the tree, and the needles will drop.
And what else? Just keep it well hydrated in a Christmas stand?
Yes, keep the water on it, keep it away from open flame. Please make sure you check if you're putting lights on, make sure that they're not frayed, that the extension cord is a good cord and it's not frayed, and make sure you're not putting too much wattage on the electrical system.
What kind of trees are they, do you know?
Our trees, we have 3 varieties on the lot right now. We have the Nordman fir, which is a nice full tree. It's new. They've only been selling them for the past 10 years. This particular type of tree came from seedlings they took from Central Asia. They're supposed to be very, very drought tolerant. So in those years when the growing areas in the Pacific Northwest don't have enough rain, these still do hold up pretty good.
So we have a noble fir right here?
This is a noble fir. Okay. They've changed the way that they're trimmed during their growing season. When these first came out, they had like almost a Christmas, a wedding cake look, where they had branches, branches, branches. So it was a very stacked appearance. Now they're growing so they're filling in the middle.
I see. And you have another selection as well?
Yes, we do. It's called the Plantation Douglas Fir. And this is one right here. These are faster growing trees. These are about 6 to 7 years instead of 9 or so for the other trees, because they grow faster, they can charge less. Unfortunately, the needles for this tree are real thin, and they do tend to drop off quickly.
Okay, Don, what is it you have here, this contraption?
This is for drilling a hole in the bottom of the Christmas trees. We have a specially shaped drill bit, which is a tapered drill bit, which makes a tapered hole in the bottom of the tree, which fits on the pins on the stands that we have. This allows us to display trees that can be rotated in the stand. So a house with one of our trees and one of our stands, if they decide they don't like the side of the tree facing the window, they can just spin the tree right around.